Hi, this is Albert again. I decided to make this clip because one of the questions that I get quite often are from people who receive a 1099-C or hear of a 1099-C and want to know exactly, what that is and what the implications are. Now, let me start first off by saying I am not an accountant, CPA, tax attorney, so this information that I am providing is just for informational purposes only. I strongly suggest that you see your accountant, your CPA, or a tax attorney so you can see how this might be applicable to your particular situation. What I'm providing here is just for informational purposes only. Okay, enough about the disclosure. A 1099-C, obviously, if you have reached this clip on the internet, you're interested to know on what exactly that means. What a 1099-C is basically a instrument that is provided to the IRS, notifying them that there has been debt that has been forgiven. In most situations, that is applied as taxable income on your tax returns. So you want to make sure that that's not ignored. There is, however, what's called an insolvency exclusion that may or may not be applicable to your particular situation. Now, what insolvency means, what the definition means is for the IRS is basically if you owe more money than you have assets, then you are insolvent. That's the basically IRS definition of insolvency. Now, when you file your tax returns, or when tax returns are filed, usually the form that is used to show that you are insolvent is called the 982, or Form 982. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll show it to you here. Form 982 is the reduction of tax attributes due to the discharge of indebtedness. That is a form that generally is used and attached to your tax returns. Like I said, being insolvent is basically owing more money than what you are worth. And if someone is in that particular situation, then that 1099-C amount may in fact not be taxable. Again, check with your tax attorney, check with your accountant or CPA to make sure and see how that may or may not be applicable to your particular situation. Another thing that you might want to do, if you're more of a do-it-yourself type of a person, is perhaps Google Form 982 to see what you come up with. Another thing that you might want to do as well is you might want to look into or Googling or go directly to the IRS website and pull up Form 4681 or Publication 4681. Publication 4681 is basically the publication that the IRS sends out, which is about canceled debts, foreclosures, repossessions, and abandonments. So you can see that that would be something that would be useful for you to have. So if you're researching this information, Google Publication 4681, Google Form 982, so you can get more information and see how that may or may not be applicable to your particular situation. And of course, you always have the option to call the IRS directly, and their phone number is 1-800-829-1040. Very easy number to remember. It's 1-800-829-1040. But of course, the suggestion that I always like to give people is make sure you check with your personal accountant, your CPA, or your tax attorney, whoever it is, the person that generally prepares your taxes. And I'm not talking about just going down the street to any little tax place, but the professional that actually does this for you, or should do this for you, who's an expert. Go to them, and they should be able to tell you how this may or may not be applicable to your particular situation. But remember, it's always important not to ignore the 1099-C, because if you do ignore the 1099-C and you do not address that on your tax returns, usually a year or a year and a half later, you will receive penalties, assessments, and all the ugly, nasty things that comes with the IRS when you ignore them for something that you should have taken care of earlier. Anyhow, I hope you have found this informative. I hope you have found this useful. And if you have any other questions or concerns, please visit us, and we'll be more than happy to assist you in any way that we might be able to do so. Thank you.